A toast, YouTube links, to that somewhat disappointingly pathetic scoop of dirt. I feel like I wasn't very successful, but I was attempting to capture some gravity with the golden shovel and the champagne and all. Though I fear it didn't really come across on video, that was a really big deal for me. You see, with that scoop of dirt, I have broken ground on what I'm pretty sure is the biggest project of my life. That was the first dirt moved for the hole that will eventually contain the foundation of my house. I have been working on this design for a long time. Paperwork is done and submitted. Engineering is stamped. The permit is approved. By the grace of the great bureaucracy of the county that I live in, I am allowed to build something. But I'm super excited to be started, finally be moving on from design to execution, getting something done. That feels really good. This video is just a project introduction. We're going to get a little bit of digging done. I've probably already transitioned into that time lapse because watching me sit here in a field drinking champagne is probably not great video. We'll get into the design and the construction details later as we work through them. So this is just the first video, and I have no idea how many it's going to be. Expect broad stroke progress updates and detailed how I'm doing this one little particular fiddly bit, and just kind of generally taking the camera along for whatever I'm working on at the time. I don't have a plan, I don't have much of a structure. I'm retired, I'm doing this for fun, leave me alone. Hopefully those of you that decide to come along with me, enjoy the ride. Things are coming along. Kind of hard to film a slightly different shape in the dirt, but this is a lot flatter than it was. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm making this up as I go along. The process I've sort of ironed out is I clamped the laser reader to the blade there on the excavator. So I'm able to scrape to a consistent level, and I'm just working my way across this hump, scraping up dirt until it gets down to where I want it. And then once it piles up high enough that I'm not making much progress with each pass, I pull the dump truck in, start loading it up, run all the dirt over there where it's out of the way, and then repeat. It's working pretty well. This spoils repository is filling up faster than I thought it would. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. Need to figure out a way to get that heaped a little higher. The dump truck can't really do any better than that. Or maybe I'll find somewhere else to start a second pile. Haven't decided. I've probably got about half of this hump scraped out at this point. Probably do some more time lapsing, but it's going to be more of the same. We'll speed it way, way, way up so you don't get too bored. I got some digging to do. Alright, if I keep this up, it's going to be too hard to get the truck through here. I need to do something about this pile. Let's see what we can do to get this consolidated and heaped a little higher. Well, that went great. Thought it was going to be way harder to beach up on that without it feeling super sketchy, but got a decently stable platform set up in just a couple of minutes, and man, doubled the height of that pile. That consolidated really nice. I definitely feel like there's a more efficient way to do this. Since I scrape the dirt with the excavator, and then I scoop it and load it in the truck, and then I drive it over here and I dump it on the ground, and then I pick it up again with the excavator and dump it on the higher pile. But this may be one of those cases where the efficient solution involves a construction company worth of heavy equipment, and with a mini excavator and a small dump truck, this is as good as it gets. And honestly, I'm incredibly fortunate to have even that, so stop complaining, Uncle Mike. The plus side, I think this thing is going to make a cool vantage point for a continued time lapse, so let's see if I can scramble up there and get you guys a nice perch, and we'll get back to work. Alright, that's a plane established for the entire footprint of the building. So what this is the minimum amount of excavation. Starting from here, if I put in 5 inches of gravel, and 4 inches of insulation, and 5 inches of concrete, I'm up to my finished floor level. The next step is to overdig where necessary. So you can see here where I had to dig a little deeper to get down to this level. It's this hard packed clay native material. This is super solid. I can build a house on this. But as we come down here, the dig got shallower and shallower. You can see organic material, nurse stump, roots, that kind of stuff. And you can even tell walking on it, it's a little spongy. So I'm going to go back over this whole area. Anywhere that isn't nice and solid, I'm going to dig down until it is. And then of course here, right along this line-ish, is where the natural lay of the land intersected the plane that I just dug out. So to the left of this line, I haven't dug at all. And there's not a lot of organics out here. You can see there's some scrubby little grassy things growing up. That's all got to go. And over in this corner, you know, it's not a lawn, but that's no good under concrete because it'll break down over time and settle. So everywhere that I haven't touched, I'm going to take at least a few inches off, see what the dirt looks like underneath, and dig until I hit something I'm happy with. Before I start on that, I got to work on the mountain over here a little bit. It sort of encroaching my working space here. I don't want it so close to where I'm working on the foundation. You can even see nearly buried here is one of my batter boards. I need access to that, which easy enough, I can move those rocks. But I want this whole hump here to be further back. So I got Kobe beached up there. We'll spend a little time shifting that dirt over and get it consolidated into one big pile with a pretty minimized footprint as best I can. And then I'm going to get to work back out here in the house footprint. Other than the fact that I'm not going to be using a laser for it, this is going to look pretty much exactly like what I just did. So I'm probably going to pack the camera in, give you guys a little break, bring you back when something interesting and new is happening. But I've got my work cut out for me. I'm going to get back to it. Alright, my dirt mountain is coming along nicely. There is the house site. As you can see, I started digging up down to hard pan over here, but I've had a change of heart. Originally, the plan was to do this pass over the entire building footprint, and then I was going to come back and start putting in underground services and digging for the foundation. But now that I see just how much variation there is in the hard pan layer depth, don't know if this is coming across on camera, but this is uppy downy 1.5 feet through here. And it's bad enough that I can't drive the dump truck or even really the excavator through here without really picking my path. And that is gonna really cramp my style when I'm trying to do the rest of my digging. So, I pulled the ripcord on this plan. I'm gonna leave this dug up here, because, you know, it's dug up, there's not a ton of options there. But I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna leave the rest of this ground flat and drivable, even though it's not all hard pan and not suitable to put building weight into. And I'm going to shift gears, and I'm going to start now on the underground services and the foundation. Those are going to be kind of intermixed because some of the underground stuff goes under the footings and some of it goes through the stem walls. Anyway, figuring out those logistical details are my problem going forward. I think I got a plan. We'll see how it goes. It is, of course, constantly evolving because, again, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm figuring it out as I go. That's why it's fun. So, digging this out was a mistake, but it's not a mistake I can't recover from. Because I'm shifting gears, I'm going to call this video here. Next one is actually probably going to be a break from the actual digging and dirt work so that I can do some equipment maintenance. I was hoping to get a little further in this project before that became a necessity, but that's all right. Things need doing, and I can do them, so I'm going to get on it. Then the next house build episode is going to be starting digging for the deepest conduit, and after that, it's footings, which is pretty darn exciting. As for this one, this was supposed to just be a breaking ground kind of project introduction, and I've clearly done a lot more than that, so I think I better wrap it up before length gets out of hand. As always, thanks for joining me on this phase of the project, and I look forward to having you for the next step.